Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Lily, and for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for dropping by again. Today I want to talk about the big key takeaways from nursing school. I have just completed my first semester at Penn, and it's definitely been very intense. It is an accelerated program, but it's also been very humbling, very rewarding, and I think that I'm really grateful for the professors, for my classmates, and for really having the opportunity to take away so much information. It's definitely been a whirlwind. But for this particular video, I wanted to share sort of the key points that kind of stuck with me throughout this entire course that I think would be fairly interesting to folks, whether you're in healthcare or whether you're not in healthcare. I think that these would be good things for you to know in general regarding health, regarding how certain things function. I just wanted to share them because I think that, it'd be beneficial for everyone. So if this sounds like something you're interested, keep watching and let's get right into the video. So I wanted to preface this by saying that yes, I actually haven't made any video for about 2 months, besides the Bag Smart one. If you guys have seen that, you know what I'm talking about. But I really wanted to make videos like consistently, maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks regarding school, regarding just general day-to-day life as a student, but that was not the case. It has been very difficult to do that. So again, I really admire folks who are able to vlog and do YouTube and also go to school. For me, the priority has always been, obviously school for now. But vlogging or YouTube, I really enjoy it, but it is more so a hobby for me. So if I haven't been posting anything relevant, I do want to apologize ahead of time. But I do think that, this being sort of the takeaway video, I probably will be making a subsequent video probably not too long after, regarding what I thought were good techniques or tips for studying and for succeeding in your first semester in nursing school. So I'll probably be releasing something like that in the near term because it is the holidays now, so I will definitely have more time to do that. But with that being said, let's get right into it. I do have some notes here so I don't forget what I'm going to be talking about. So throughout the course for pathophysio and pharmacology, which is actually my absolute favorite course so far into the program, and apparently it's one of the most difficult courses, but I really enjoyed it. I think it's partly due to the fact that we had a wonderful professor, but she really emphasized the fact that grapefruit juice has a lot of interactions with different types of drugs. I'm sure that when you get a new medication, you're gonna have like the patient education, right, that they'll do to tell you what you can or cannot take with that said medication. But I think that just for general understanding and general knowledge, it'd be good to know. Apparently, grapefruit juice inhibits this particular enzyme, which is called CYP3A4. And for a lot of medications, this enzyme CYP3A4, which often functions in the liver, it's required to metabolize your drug, right? So if that enzyme is not present or is inhibited by grapefruit juice, then your drug is not going to get metabolized in your body. And what that just means ultimately is that you're gonna have higher concentrations of that drug, whether it's in its active form or not, in your body, and obviously with higher levels of a particular drug than it was originally intended to is going to cause toxic effects, right? So we definitely don't want that. So overall takeaway is that be careful, be aware of grapefruit juice. Apparently it's a really big inhibitor of this enzyme that metabolizes medication. So that was a really big takeaway for me. I thought it was interesting, but yeah, just a FYI. So one of the other things that really struck home to me was the fact that there's a lot of health disparities in the society. I think we all know that without saying. But I think that an example, and sort of like the stigma, that's associated with certain actions and certain ways people express themselves, or certain racial ethnicities people are from. I feel like, I've always known that this was the case, but it never really struck home the way it did after I took 2 of the courses this semester. And one of the examples our professor gave was the fact that if you're walking down the street and then you see someone who's unfortunately homeless, and you see that, hey, maybe this person is acting a little erratic, maybe they're very verbally loud and they're talking to no one, or they're like twitching or something. out of an autonomic reflex, right? Like, and I have found myself guilty of this multiple times, is that, you try to avoid the person, you don't want to get into an interaction, an altercation with them. A lot of times when I've done this before, I feel really bad because I would actually just be like, man, I feel bad for this person, but, I wonder why he got to where he was, right? A lot of times though, and we've learned this through class, a lot of people, they don't have a choice. It's not like they decided one day to wake up, hey, I'm gonna be a drug addict. Hey, I'm gonna be homeless. No one chooses that, right? And so I think that having some empathy, having basically being able to not stigmatize a lot of these things is really important, because then we bring our judgment upon people, right? And I think that every person out there, they are experiencing their own challenges, and the best thing you can do is to help them, right? So I think that, I think that was one of the hardest things, because at least for me, because I see so many people homeless. I think in Philadelphia though, I haven't seen as many compared to San Francisco, which is interesting, but I wonder if it's just the way that they have programs or they take care of people. But I do see homeless people, and it really breaks my heart because, everyone has their own story, and it's just unfortunate that we have so many problems, so many issues here with homelessness, with people having drug addictions, with people being on opioids. And a lot of times, they get onto it because they were in an accident, and then they have a really difficult time tapering off of it, And I think that this is definitely a huger issue. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic, but it just really shows that, there's a lot of stigma around that. And I think that one day I really want to do something that can help these people. I don't know what it is yet, but I think that given the knowledge that I've learned, I think that it's just, there's so much stuff, so much things we could do to make this a better world, So there's a really powerful picture that one of our professors showed, and I'm gonna put it on the screen here for you as well. But it's basically it's a cartoon, right? And it shows that there's equality, there's equity, and there's justice, right? And then when you think about it, it's pretty interesting to see these all side by side. That equality, even though we really say that we should have a lot of equality, it's giving people, everyone, the same resources, regardless of where they start off from. Equity is giving people what they need to succeed, but then justice is really fixing that system, this broken system that we have, so that the barriers don't exist in the first place. And so that was a really big key takeaway for me personally, and it's something that I feel like I am very passionate about, and something that I would like to do to make sure that people are given justice, right? Again, I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I know that that's definitely one of my end goals in the near future after I finish my program. Okay, so then moving on, we have a very interesting takeaway as well. The next takeaway that I wanted to talk about is medication. Medication, I've actually spoken with my husband about it, and it just really reinforced the fact that, we see this happening every day to different people, all types of people. My professor mentioned that, oftentimes when we go to the doctors, they always ask us, hey, what are your current medications? Because they want to know if there's any interactions or any contraindications given your current health state, right? And so, apologize for the background siren. I'm in the city, so it gets kind of loud. But the thing is, though, a lot of times, and even I myself have found myself guilty of this, is that when we go to the doctors, we don't always tell them everything, whether it's just, oh, we think, oh, it's really not that important, or whether we feel embarrassed about it. So one example I can give is that, you know, I used to go to the doctor's office and the doctor would ask me, what are you taking currently? Are you taking any meds? Are you taking any supplements? I would always tell them the medications, but a lot of times I would not tell them the supplements because either I would have forgotten to bring it up, or B, I didn't think that it was necessary information. So the thing about that though is that it's really not true. It's so important to let your provider know all the medications you are taking, whether it's medications that have been prescribed over the counter, supplements like fish oil, vitamin, any types of like turmeric, etc. Because there are interactions between those medications between those supplements with other medications that if the provider does not know, the provider will be prescribing you with a medication that could have an interaction with that supplement, right? So like I mentioned earlier, CYP3A4, grapefruit juice, it's not a medication, but it is a beverage. So fish oil, right? It has antiplatelet properties. The thing is, if you are taking fish oil and you probably have, now this is probably a little bit extreme, but one of the things for fish oil that we learned in class, right, was that you probably should stop it before you go into a major surgery because it has antiplatelet properties. And so you don't want to be bleeding profusely, right? So little things like that, right? And also turmeric, for example. I religiously took turmeric before because it's anti-inflammation, it's good for your body. But the thing with turmeric is that if you sprinkle a little bit of it in your daily cooking, it's probably fine. But if you take high doses of it, like in supplements, you probably want to tell your doctor that if you take too much turmeric, it can cause liver damage. It can cause hepatitis, which is liver inflammation. I'm not talking about hepatitis A, B, or C. I'm just talking about general liver inflammation. There was a study that was done where this one woman actually took a lot of turmeric supplements and she ended up getting hepatitis because her dosage of it was way too much. So just things like that. I think it's really important to just literally collect all your meds or write them down, your meds and your supplements, everything you're taking orally or like injecting or whatever, right? Write them all down and bring it to your provider. Don't feel embarrassed about anything because at the end of the day, it's your health that we're talking about, and you want to make sure that you are given the best care, given the fact that your provider knows everything, right? Everything in terms of what meds, what supplements you're taking. So I think that's really important. Another key takeaway for me, one of the most emphasized topics and the longest topics in the lecture was about diabetes, obesity, kidney failure. These are things that are all intertwined together. And we all know this, right? We all know, we shouldn't be eating too much fatty foods. We shouldn't be having too much sugar, but it's kind of hard. Sometimes we just need a little break. And again, I'm guilty of this too. I feel like I've been saying that for all of these key takeaways, but I just feel that because I'm guilty, it's something I want to share with you all because, hey, maybe you're kind of like that too. And it's just good to know in general, right? But essentially, obesity, we all know, increases insulin resistance, right? We know that there's the semaglutides, there's the GLP-1s out there in the market. It's like the holy grail right now that everyone's taking, but there are going to be side effects for that too, right? So in order for us not to get to that point, it's important to take care of your body, right? Obesity leads to insulin resistance. You will get type 2 diabetes. Ultimately, that will affect your kidneys, and then you may have kidney failure. And I know I'm probably like making it sound like super extreme, but I think that it's pretty crazy what all of this can do to your body. And when you're in a state where, if you need to go in for dialysis, it's a very, 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 it's very painful. Like painful in the sense that you have to sit there for like 4 hours, like 3 times a week at least. It's just, why put yourself in that situation when you can take good care of yourself from the beginning, right? So kind of the key takeaway there is that kidney disease can be silent. So, take good care of yourself. It's the best gift you can ever give yourself, honestly. Okay, so next thing I wanted to talk about, another key takeaway was what we call the Swiss cheese model. I guess this is more relevant to like individuals who are like myself who are going through nursing school or who want to go through to nursing school. the fact that they call it the Swiss cheese layer because there are so many layers to healthcare, right? You have the nurse, you have like the provider, you have the pharmacist, right? You have all these, the admins, you have all these different layers to ensure patient safety. But if the Swiss cheese model, but if like the Swiss cheese, all those different layers of Swiss cheese, if they all line up together and the holes line up and it gets through. And the idea behind that is that, that means patient safety wasn't adequate, right? So I think that what one of, or many of my professors emphasize is the fact that, all of these different individuals as part of the, as part of the healthcare team are all very important, right? Whether you're a social worker, whether you're a pharmacist, whether you're an admin, whether you're a unit clerk, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a provider, they're also important because they take care of all these different aspects, right, of the patient, all these different aspects. And it's important to know that while everyone has a very important role, it doesn't hurt to double check. So I think one of the main takeaways from here was the fact that, as a nurse, you have gone through training. There are certain things if there's any order that seems a little questionable, it's probably okay. It's important actually to question it, just to make sure that, hey, it wasn't just like an oversight, right? That this is ensuring patient safety. And I think that ultimately at the end of the day, it's always about patient safety, right? When I was working in biotech, it was always patient safety, and it's so true, right? So if something's kind of questionable, it's okay to question it. It's okay even, if you're questioning a provider's order, it's okay to question it because if this doesn't seem right, like if some capsule isn't supposed to be crushed and flushed and put down like a feeding tube, then it probably is okay to question it. So that's the biggest takeaway for me, because for me, I feel like sometimes I have a lot of not a lot of self-confidence, and I feel like sometimes oh, they're the provider, they definitely should know everything, but sometimes people get tired, right? They might have an oversight, they might make a mistake. So it's okay, because at the end of the day, we're all working as a team, right? And we just all want what's best for the patient. So that was my next takeaway. Another takeaway that I wanted to talk about is actually regarding psychiatric mental health. So I don't know if I've ever shared this on this channel, but I really like working with the older population. I just think that there's so many new stories, they're so sweet, and I've never ever wanted to work in psychiatric mental health because to me I just, maybe it's a bit of my culture, maybe it's a bit of like, I don't know what it is, but it just made me very nervous, very uncomfortable. I didn't really know how to, work with people in those environments. But I did finish my first psychiatric mental health clinical this semester, and I am very humbled. I feel that it's definitely been a privilege. It's been an honor to be able to work with the patients there because, they're sharing with you a lot of things about their lives that's very personal, and they're opening up to you. So it really is a privilege to be able to be in their presence. And I think that one of the key things that I learned from there is the fact that is this not from there, but from class in general, is therapeutic communication. We all learned this in nursing school, right? But like, honestly, it's pretty incredible how a lot of things that we take for granted, simple questions, like the way you ask it, the certain words that you use, it really can build a trusting relationship with people. It can make them less defensive. And it's really all about building relationships, right? We had one course where at the very beginning of the semester, and one of the first projects was, make a collage for what we think nursing is. And one of my group members, her name's Amy, and she basically put into the collage this Maya Angelou quote, which I really loved, and I've always loved it. But she said, it's really, at the end of the day, it's not what you do, but it's how you make the person feel. And I'm a really emotional person, so it hits me even more. But I think that it's really true, because at the end of the day, why would we talk to someone, whether it's in the healthcare setting or as friends or as strangers or anyone you meet in the world, you want to build a relationship with someone, right? It's all this is about. We're always building relationships, whether we're building relationships in the corporate world, selling someone stuff, something, selling our customers something, or like helping our customers fix something, depending on which department you're in. We're all building relationships. And if you can build that relationship with your patient, with anyone, it's really incredible. So, I mean, it's been my first clinical, but I definitely learned a lot. And the thing about therapeutic communication, obviously, it's about active listening. It's about asking open-ended questions. It's about like not judging people, and being empathetic. It's all words that we've heard over and over and over again, but it really just hit me in this course because I actually got to experience that with people, and I think that it's such a game changer. I really wish that they taught this in undergrad, like as a requirement for students, because I don't know if it's just maybe at my age right now that I'm older, that I have a newfound appreciation. But I feel that if students were to take this course, I know it's not that difficult, but it really hones in on some of the key elements of like interpersonal relationships, of building trust, of building a rapport with people. That's so important. And I feel like that could just make our society so much better, right? At least, again, this is just my humble opinion, but I think that really hit home for me. So I think therapeutic communication is really important. If you have a chance, you can definitely research it a little bit. It's pretty straightforward, but being able to not just bring that into a patient interaction, but also into day-to-day life, I think that really has helped a lot. For me. So that was a key takeaway for me. So that is all I have for you all today. I hope that was helpful, or if it was fun or it was enlightening. I just want to say that, my decision to go into nursing school, I think it's definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because I think I have a newfound appreciation for a lot of things, a lot of perspectives opening, and understanding, obviously, bodily mechanics, but understanding people in general. I think that being in a position in the future where I can treat someone, I can help them, I can hear their story, it's really, really humbling. It's really, really powerful, and it really hits me at the core. I hear a lot of on YouTube, you see all these shorts about people saying, oh, it's like the worst thing to be. Why? I quit my job as a nurse. It's like, I should have never gone to nursing school. I don't know why there's so much negativity around it, because I think it's a very powerful role, because you have the ability to make someone feel better. And you are that person who's going to build the relationship with the person, right? With that patient. And isn't it such a gratifying feeling to know that you were part of that person's journey at some point in life, and being able to be there for someone? I think that's incredibly, incredibly powerful. But I know that, it's not for everyone, and that's okay, because we all have our own separate ways to contribute, right, to society. But if you are interested in nursing school, if you have the financial resources, if you have the time, if you have the interest, I think you will enjoy it a lot. It will definitely challenge you, but it's also going to really change the way you see the world in one of the best ways. So yeah, that's it. It is the holidays. I haven't made any videos about bags or top things to buy, because I feel like while those are really fun, those are really, great things, and other creators are doing a fantastic job of it, to me, it's not the most important thing right now. So yeah, I haven't done that, and I apologize. But yeah, just Sarah, I don't know why, I'm just feeling a little nirvana right now. But have a wonderful holiday wherever you are in the world. I hope you stay healthy, happy, and safe. And I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.